Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your Monday night phone-in here on the Rangers Rabble. I'm not going to do all the advertising stuff because we've got a big game. I'll do that later on. I just want to jump straight into it. Mark, Graham, hello. Sorry, I should introduce you. How you doing?
I'm good, mate.
All good, mate. My first phone-in, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, hopefully people phone in. The phone line will be open in approximately 2 minutes. In fact, you know what? I'll put up the number now, right? So see if you want to phone in now, and we'll just get you straight on. I'll interrupt everybody.
Usually me, isn't it?
Usually Mark. As soon as I go to Mark, somebody phones in. Can I just say a big thank you to everybody who joined us last night on our first members show, which is going to be every Sunday night at 8 p.m. and it's going to be on a wide variety of things. I did post a clip on the YouTube channel. So go and check that out, and if that's something you want to do and you think you might want to become a member, then fire away at that. But as I say that, and I was just about to go to Mark, we have our first caller, and I cannot for the life of me. Ian, my friend, you will have to phone back in. Something happened there and it wouldn't let me bring you in. So yeah, I'll do all the advertising stuff later on. Is it going to let me bring in Ian now? Hold on. My apologies. Ian, are you there?
I am, Martin. I am definitely.
How are you doing, Ian?
Well, I'm all geared up for tomorrow, but really glad that we actually put a beating on a team on the weekend. I mean, we started the season with 2-1, 2-0, but no, we needed to show our quality, and we did that on Saturday. And what more can I say? I mean, Lawrence is looking like a good signing already. Tillman, obviously, we've said enough about Tillman in the last week. I mean, Bayern Munich don't produce duds, do they? They definitely do not produce duds. They know a talent, and then and then obviously we just nipped him on loan. But let's just get into tomorrow. I mean, this is like, let's just think about it tomorrow, guys. The Champions League theme is going to be heard around Ibrox for the first time since I think December 2010. Think about that, December 2010. I could go into long things of what was going on in December 2010.
I was a lot thinner.
I know. I was doing my GCSEs in 2010. Okay, so that's how long ago it was. But and also, like, I'll just mention this really quickly. The guy managing PSV Eindhoven, for me, is the best striker I ever saw in my lifetime. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Enough said. I don't care about Henry and Shearer and all that claptrap about them. Van Nistelrooy was the man when I was a kid. So I'll just mention that quickly. Tomorrow, let's just put it this way: it's first legs at Ibrox, so we've just got. I want us to go at them. Like, don't try and play conservative and try and get a nice result. I mean, we won't do that, but just in case they are thinking that, just go for it. Treat it like a one-off match where if you don't get it, then you're not in. Just I want to see all our performance, and just, you know, I don't know, like I can't think of a box. I can't think of that as a box I'm thinking of, but just that kind of guy who just goes from it right from the round one. Doesn't even like wait till the second round to get going. Right from round one, just get at them. This is the biggest match apart from the Europa final months ago, but this is a chance to get in the Champions League, the Champions League, the creme de la creme of all football that we all dream of seeing our clubs in. Hear that theme again for the first time in 12 years. Go for it. That's what I say.
Well, can I just say for a first caller, I was buzzing before we started, but Ian's just ramped it up, Mark. And can I just take it back to Ian's very, very first point, Mark, which I think is, and I'm going to use my thesaurus as I like to do. And I've just completely forgot the word, so I'm not going to. Prevalent, there we go. I think he's point very prevalent, Mark, that, you know, on Saturday we played really well and we got a few goals and we put a team to the sword. So we're going into Tuesday on the back of not just a win, but a good performance.
Yeah, it's always good to go into a European game after giving somebody a wee bit of a hiding. Also, the good thing is that we're starting to score goals from different places in a team. and some of the new boys are starting to gel as well and starting to look apart. So it's probably the best kind of preparation you've got for a European tie, especially one this size.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And another thing, Graham, that Ian mentioned there as well, you don't want to be at full time tomorrow night. None of the Rangers players want to have any regrets, do they?
I quite liked what Ian said there. I think it was a one-off game, so we can just concentrate on this game. Don't think about it away. Get the job done at Ibrox. Maybe not actually get the full tie done, but get a good result at Ibrox. So we're going over there with a win. Just what you think I picked up. I don't think Champions League theme music is played tomorrow, does it?
It does, aye.
Does it? I thought it was just the actual group stage.
It's your choice.
Oh, is it? As long as the players realise it's to get into the proper. Tomorrow's about getting the job done, getting into the proper, where we can get in amongst the big boys and get some good cash for the club as well.
Just let me jump in there about the Champions League music. It feels like a proper Champions League tie, PSV at Ibrox. So I think that if you're going to play it, then let's play it.
I seen a thing on Twitter that there was quite a lot of Brazilian, Italian, Spanish, German press there. So that obviously Europe feels as if it is a big game for them to cover it.
Do you think, Ian, that we have to take a lead into the second leg?
I think so, because it just gives you. I mean, I'm not talking about a Dundee United lead and have one goal. I mean, maybe have 2 goals, but sorry to poke fun at them. But at least take a significant lead, because if we have to be honest, our away form in Europe under Gio, bar the Dortmund game, even back as far as Gerrard last season, it wasn't good. It was always, and we have to turn a corner on that front. And I went to a match in the Netherlands a while ago, and the atmosphere is something. I mean, but that's for them, that's their atmosphere. And I mean, because put it this way, Feyenoord versus Ajax is the equivalent of what the Old Firm is for us. I mean, I'll give you a little story I heard on the Ajax tour. Like they had Feyenoord and Ajax fans in the studio to try and make them look like they get on. They ended up having a fight in the studio, and they never showed that footage. That's Dutch football for you. But yeah, on your point, we have to take a significant lead to Eindhoven. Don't take a one goal lead, because that they all they need to do is get one back. That's my point. That would be my point. But we're definitely capable of scoring those goals. But we definitely need to take that a significant lead. I'd agree with you on that, Martin.
Well, there's no easy games in Europe, is there, though? And I think Eindhoven, very difficult place to go, very, ruptious. There's another word for you, crowd. So, I mean, listen, if we get a draw or whatever, I'm not going to think the tie's over. But you really do want to take a lead over there, don't you?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'd probably be happy with just a 1-goal lead. Any lead going over there, and then it'll suit our game as well, going over there if we get a lead, because they need to come out to get that goal back, and we can hit them in a counter-attack. So, and I think that's what we did to Dortmund. So I've got a vision of it being quite similar to that, and let's hope so.
Ian, give me a prediction.
I'll screw it. I'm going to go bold. 4-1.
4-1.
Last thing.
Exactly, because last time, yeah, exactly. 4-1. I'm going bold. There'll be a lot of goal scorers, and it'll be massive.
Do you know something? I absolutely love Ian's positivity. Do you know, if I had a spare room, Ian, I'd let you move in, just so that on those bad days, I feel just that wee bit happier.
You just got, well, my grandfather always told me, you got to wake up in the day with the mindset, and if you wake up in the day feeling bad, then you're going to be bad all day. You're going to eat bad food. You're going to just take bad steps on your walk. Just think, attack, or as Gary Neville puts it, attack the day.
Yeah, please don't bring up Gary Neville. I will have my point on him later on. Ian, buddy, thank you as always. You are a ray of light on the Rangers Rabble phone.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All the best, Ian.
All the best.
I wish I had that positivity in my body. You know that? Imagine being that positive. How good would life be, Mark?
Just a happy guy. And I like to think of myself as quite a positive thinker. I'm very much a half full type of guy. But That takes a bit of beating. It definitely takes a bit of beating.
4-1 off. Listening from Canada, love the show. Thank you very much. I'm trying to convince the missus, because of the type of job that my partner does. We had the possibility of moving to Canada, but she didn't want to do it. Whereas I'm trying to convince her, and I know my mum's watching, but I'd love to move to Canada. I absolutely love it. Right, Mark, how are you feeling about tomorrow? How's the gut feeling? What's your gut feeling?
My gut's telling me it's going to be a hard game. I'm hoping. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be quite close, and I think we're just going to sneak a win. So that's kind of, as I said, tomorrow. If you ask me, I'll have the positive head on, right up until about an hour before the game, and then my bottle will crash, and I'll start going, oh no, they're a good side, and start triple second, double guessing myself, whether we're going to do it or not. But as it stands at the minute, I think we will sneak a win, definitely.
Massive. Can't be understated, Graham, just how big tomorrow night is for our football club.
It's massive, but like you said, it's one of the, I've always said, we won 55, then I always said the next step to complete the journey is getting back in the group stage of the Champions League. So we're one step away from it now, obviously. I hope they keep in mind the Malmo stuff and use that. I think that would be a good motivation, because they know how hot the fans were, and obviously their dreams were to play at the highest level, and they never got it that time. So this is the next step, so they need to do it. But I'm confident of it winning tomorrow. It's the overall tie I'm less confident about, but I'm confident we can get a win and go over there.
Yeah, well, we now see. Do you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to get a producer. See if anybody out there fancies being a producer, then please let me know. But we have another call in to the Rangers Rabble, caller ending 370. Hello, how you doing?
How you doing?
Who's that?
It's Mark. I'm a new caller. I just subscribed to the channel yesterday.
Oh, good man. What's your point then on tomorrow night?
Yeah, so I was optimistic we can get a result tomorrow, but I do feel that we're going to need to have at least a 2-goal cushion to take to Holland. If we don't, and it's tight, and it's like a 2-1 or a 1-0, I just feel that maybe this early on in the season we might not quite make it.
Mark?
I think.
Sorry, Mark. The other Mark.
I think that. I don't know. I think that it's going to be tight. So I think it is going to be a 2-1, something like that. So I just think they will score. I think they've got so much goal threat in their team that I think they will score. So I'm hoping worst case scenario 2-1, best case scenario 3-1. But I think it will be tight, and I think that it's something that we're going to need to get our game plan right for the second leg. I think that it's going to be massive for us. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be tight.
Oh, see now Mark's come in with a wee bit of, I'm not sure if we don't take a 2-goal lead after Ian's dead positive call. Mark, you're making me shite myself here. Worst case scenario then, Mark, we take a 1-0, a 2-1. Has Gio not shown throughout the European run that he's very, very tactically aware?
He has done, but I also think back to the European final where we get the tactics spot on, and then an individual error defensively is what cost us the final. Really, that ball was cleared. There's no doubt in my mind that it stays 1-0 and me going to win the game. But that is what let them back into the game, and obviously we all know what happened after that. But I do feel that if it's tight and that defensively it only takes an individual error, and they've shown in the past that although they can be good, we have conceded goals against these oppositions as well. It just so happens that we were lucky enough to score more goals than them as of yet. So they're coming up to tomorrow's game. We've been playing the last 2 games has picked up, but the performance is going to have to be, I think, higher when it comes to the final ball if we're going to have any chance of beating them tomorrow.
I think it goes without saying, Graham, and I think Mark's right that, if we play against PSV the way we played in the first leg against USG, the tie's over before it starts. So it's definitely class above what we're playing tomorrow.
Definitely, mate. We've got kind of previous to look back on. If we play like we do against Dortmund, Leipzig, and the likes, we go in confident we could win, and then you've got that USG home tie that we can look at the other side. So the players know what they've got to do. They've got to be at that standard, and obviously with full Ibrox tomorrow night, they've thrived in it in the past, and just last week there getting the 3-0 win to get through to this round. So they've got everything, both sides, to look back at and use it. So I think I'm quite confident we'll get the win tomorrow. What I want though is to go over there for them having to come out, so it helps us over there. Because I think when you look at our away performances in Europe, it's when the team have had to come out, then we look good. The ones where we're kind of on a draw, the group stage games that didn't mean much, they're the ones that we kind of did look a wee bit ordinary and average. So I think at least a 1-0 win, one goal difference win, and then go over there. I'll be pretty confident.
I'm seeing a few people, Mark, on the phone, not Mark in the studio, Mark on the phone, saying that they wish that we were playing away from home first. Do you think that'll have any bearing on the result over the two legs at all? That we're playing at home
I think
first?
it will. At the past, we've been able to go away. Then we'll still get Ibrox to come back to. So even if we get beat 1-0, we'll still get a chance at overturning it. But if we get one result, or even worse, we get beat 1-0, we're not going to have that audience, the crowd to come back to and try and get back into the game and get us through the Champions League group stages. It's going to be much harder with not having that buffer, knowing that as long as we keep it tight enough, we can beat anyone at Ibrox.
Yeah, we can. Are you confident, Mark?
I'm confident enough if the team that turns up on the weekend there turns up just with a bit more on the final ball. I still think our final ball was a bit lacking. Particularly when we were really lucky in the European second leg against the USG. The goals were a penalty, a mistake by the goalkeeper, and then it was all over the place in the box, and it just happened to fall. The Čolak to head it in from just off the line. But even through that whole game, we never opened them up really. With the final balls, they weren't good enough. So it will need to be better if we have any chance of beating this team.
And the final question I've got for you before I let you go, I'm not going to ask you for a prediction because I won't ask everybody that phones for a prediction. I will ask you for a prediction of sorts. Who starts up front tomorrow, Morelos or Čolak?
It's going to be Čolak. As much as we don't like Morelos isn't there yet physically. If Morelos is obviously 100% fit, absolutely we start him. But Čolak's the guy's been playing with the team. He's the guy that we're used to playing with over the last few games. So to change Morelos and bring him in now wouldn't just be putting Morelos out when he's probably not ready to start. It would also be asking the new players that have come in, to start playing with a player that they're not completely comfortable playing with yet. Because he's a completely different player up front to what Čolak is.
Do you know, I love it when people phone in and they're more knowledgeable than the people on the panel. It's great. It's great. Mark, thank you so much for your call, buddy, and please don't be a stranger.
Cheers, Mark.
Well,
cheers.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, guys.
Makes a point there about, Morelos, Čolak. It's obviously going to be one of the biggest questions because Morelos get, some more minutes. Is Morelos ready, Mark, to come back in? Oh, in fact, I missed it because we had the phone call. So before I come to you, John Batchelor in the Super Chats on $8.99, he's also a member. Thank you so much for helping to support us. Incredible. We're receiving absolutely incredible support. We now have, the last I checked, 58 members. In the last 30 days, we have we have 32 members, which is absolutely incredible. But we now have Carol on the phone, so I can't even come to you, Mark. Carol, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Well, not really, but that's nothing to do with Rangers. I'm ready for the game.
Confident?
They As confident as I always am. It's only going to be half time tomorrow night when it's finished. So I wouldn't say we're going to win 4-1 or anything. No way. I can't see that. I don't know anything about them. No seen them for years. Eindhoven, we got all the wee stories. This guy's great. This guy's great. That means nothing when you're playing football. Mm-hmm. You can have a bad game. You can pass the ball back. Your mammy might not run you to a training ground with your sandwiches because you're in a different country. I don't agree with any of that crap. You know that. Because when I was talking to Mark, the Blue Lord, the other time about Čolak, he's in a different country. He's played for 9 teams now. The last 2 were in Turkey and Sweden. That's not an excuse. He doesn't need his mammy to take him in a big SUV to the training ground. That's gone, man. That kind of talk is finished with professional football. Unless you're 16.
Well, I suppose, I'll let you come back in a wee second there, Mark, but I suppose since we last spoke, Carol, he's scored 3 and 3.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not disagreeing, but there's no excuse for someone saying he's away from a different country. He's a professional.
Mark?
So what you said was you agreed with Mark Hateley and he was rotten. All of a sudden he scored 3 and 3.
He didn't get any service, the boy. But that's the manager.
That's what I said.
That is the manager.
No, but like I said, you said he was rotten. It was hopeless. Waste of space. Waste of time.
Totally rotten. He kicked the ball 3 times. Come on. That isn't good football.
See if he kicks the ball 3 times and he scores 3 times. I'm happy with that. Good enough for me.
He didn't. And that's about an offside goal. It's not a goal.
Well, we've not even talked about that offside goal, so that would have been 4 and 4.
I love
that. That would have been 4 and 4, but wasn't he? Done well.
My point being
beauties. First man to say it. I'll admit my mistake, but if I ever hear that from people again, a new guy in a new country, I miss my mammy. Come on, it can't be done anymore. That should be looked into by management before you sign somebody. Surely, is he a crybaby? Does he wet the bed? Things like that. Opinion, Mark. Don't take me too serious. I'm never serious. I'm positive we'll get a good result tomorrow night. I don't say it'll be a great result. It'll be good enough to get through.
So tell me this, Ian, just a quick question. Do you still agree with Hateley?
No.
No.
Right, I never seen Hateley, really. I only seen him in a few games.
So, no, but I'm saying what he said. You come on and said you agreed with what he said. Do you still agree with what he said?
Mark. No. I can change my mind the same as everybody else.
Well, you stop trying to wind the collars up.
You can't wind me up. If I wind up, I just go about and slap things in the house.
Well, I hope the house is all right tonight.
So where do you stand there? I suppose it's going to be the big question until we see the lineups, Carl.
I've not seen the lineup. Other thing, I think Bassie's been told to cross the deeper.
Barisic, you mean?
Barisic, I know Bassie. He can't go in the park, can he? He's suspended.
Not unless we get him back on loan. In fact, something that was something that we discussed last night. The whole Barisic Yilmaz scenario. Obviously, Yilmaz hasn't got a lot of minutes. What have you made of Barisic so far?
Hey, hot and cold. Same as usual.
Nah, that's probably.
I don't think he's a great defender, but I don't think he's got any backup in defence either. The midfield. You know what I mean? I thought the wee boy done good. Matondo, he can hit the byline, by the way, and actually go into the penalty box when he gets the ball.
We haven't had a winger.
Something lacking in a winger.
We've not had that for a while.
That's a real winger.
No, as far as I can remember. Really, Tommy McLean.
Right, so who starts?
Wally Henderson, that's as far back I can go. Wow. Alex Scott.
Willie Henderson, Jamie, man. Who starts up front tomorrow?
Has to be Čolak.
Has to be.
I would play to back him up. Back Čolak up. You've got to play Tillman. The boy looks good. The boy has a bit of class.
100%.
The other one is a toss-up, but you know who he's going to go? He's going to go with Ryan Kent for some unknown reason. The man that can run into 3 players and there's no room to pass the ball when he's always got 3 on him. I don't understand that, Ian. You know, if he's always got 2 or 3 players on him, there must be 3 players doing bugger all. You know what I mean?
Well, see on that point, and Graham, I'll bring you in on that point. Is that not one of Ryan Kent's biggest selling points, I suppose, for tomorrow night, that if PSV see him as one of our best attacking threats, if there's 2 or 3 players on him, it's leaving Lawrence, it's leaving Matondo, it's leaving Davis, whoever gets picked, spare. And Graham, you're on mute. Tell you, man. Tell you.
I've always said Ryan Kent, he has that quality that attracts people to him, and it makes space for like your Tillman or Matondo and other attacking players, Arfield, off the ball runs to get into the box and stuff like that. As long as Borna is off on the outside and then there's people inside, then I don't mind people get attracted to Kent. And if he gets the ball away to either one of them, then it gives us chances to go attack at goal. So it's one of Kent's positives for me. Hopefully he's fully fit to start. I think he will start, but hopefully he's match fit. What's happened there? Was Martin crashed?
I don't know, it looks as if Martin's crashed.
I thought I'd crashed as well there for a minute. I wouldn't think. Do you think the same about Ryan Kent as well, Mark?
I think Ryan Kent's he's a funny one. I think that there's a lot of people, because he's not started the season that well, that a lot of people are kind of forgetting how good he can be. I think that he needs a couple of good games under his belt for him to kick on. I think that this is a problem. I think that he keeps cutting back inside all the time, and new teams are wise to it. See if any team watches his last maybe 6 games, he's constantly coming inside on his right foot. I think he needs to try and mix that up. The boy Matondo put in a shift and put in a good claim on the left side of midfield. So it doesn't look as if Ryan Kent's going to get it his own way. But for me, he's one of the first names in the team sheet. I think that even when he's not giving you that much going forward, I think defensively, especially in big European games, the tracking back that the boy does is phenomenal. But as I said, Matondo's gave him something to think about. I think that's a question. Obviously, I think Martin was going to ask was probably the bigger questions: who's going to play in the 3 behind Čolak? Because I think everybody kind of thinks Čolak. I mean, who would be your 3?
I would go Kent just because of his European experiences, and he can have that Borussia Dortmund performance in him. And he steps up the big games like couldn't against Celtic and stuff like that. So it'd be Kent on the left. Tillman, unfortunately, I've not really seen us a lot due to working. I was at the B team on Saturday there, so I missed the game. So, but for all accounts, Tillman, he'd be behind Čolak for me, and then it's out of Matondo and maybe Arfield, unless you drop Arfield into the kind of middle 3. I'd go Matondo because I've not really seen a lot of him, so I'd be looking forward to. I'd be excited to see him play.
So, but what about Lawrence? Do you drop Lawrence? So there's this is a headache starting already, isn't it?
I seen somebody on Twitter. I seen somebody on Twitter saying, "How do you fit them all in?" It's a tough one. I'm probably not the best. Out of the players I've seen, I've not seen Tillman's look better for me for what I've seen. I've missed quite a lot of the games this year though, so I would just go and by what I've seen. I'd go Tillman, but if Lawrence. It's a tough headache to make in it, and then obviously it means we've got a strong bench as well.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is the kind of headaches that we're probably going to have once everybody's up to speed. Excuse me, and hitting the ground running, firing on all cylinders, all the superlatives. That it's going to be a case of who do you play. So, as I said, I know that there's a lot of people raving about Lawrence, and I think a lot of people would pick him. But the thing is, you've got now Matondo's played well on the left. Lawrence has played well on the left. So, do you know what I mean? Tillman is for me, he's a sure at 10. So, for me, it's who do you play on the right? and who do you drop? Which is the $1 million question, isn't it? Just to let the boys know, Martin's pinged me a message. His internet's died on him, so it might if we can get it back, we're laughing. We'll try and get the phone in back, but it's it's not looking good for Martin. So I'll just carry on. We'll just wing it for here. But yeah, as I was saying, back to the. So who do you play? Who do you drop? It's a hard one. And Martin was about to ask me, do you play, obviously before the phone calls, do you play Čolak or is Morelos fit enough? What's your thoughts on it, Jink?
I think you've got to go with Čolak, and the only reason I say that is because he's played the most games. We can't go into a big game like this at the start with Morelos not fully match fit. I think if there was one game maybe in between this and we could get Morelos 60 minutes or so in that game, I think he would have started. But unfortunately, it's just not enough time to get him up ready for this game. So Čolak will start for me.
Well, I'd said, yeah, in the members show, because obviously we were talking about it, just a wee kind of touched on it a wee bit. And for me, I'm kind of a wee bit old-fashioned that if if Čolak's scoring goals, then it's his shot, and it's up to Morelos to come and say, no, that's my shot. Simple as that. So for me, Čolak needs to start, and if he's not playing well, then there's always Morelos to come on, or if we're needing a goal, then we can bring Morelos on. So as I said, the hard one's the three behind him. So we'll look at midfield as well. So Lundstrom's going to start. Who plays alongside Lundstrom for you?
That's what I was going to say. Like the Lawrence situation depends if he's brave. He can maybe put Lawrence back one in a kind of advanced 8, and then maybe have Jack or Kamara the other side, kind of doing box to box, and Lundstrom is the sitter, or the other way about her. So it just depends how he goes. I'd like to see us go for it a wee bit. I know it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, PSV are good quality. They've got a good midfield. But I'd like to see us being brave at Ibrox, and I'd maybe go either a Lawrence at Arfield alongside Lundstrom and Jack.
I think that's going to be a wee bit too attack-minded to play in a team such as PSV. But I mean, for me, I think that probably I would play Lundstrom and maybe a Kamara in beside him. I think Kamara kind of gives you a wee bit more defensively, but he can keep the ball moving as well. But I think with the midfield, they're going to be up against Veerman and Simmons, and you're going to need legs in there. So
that's what I was thinking about Jack, because he kind of sees danger and he can cut it off.
That might be a shout. If you guys in the comments, you let us know what you think. Who's going to be playing? Who's going to be playing in midfield? Is it going to be Jack or Lundstrom, or who's going to be in there? Let us know, guys.
My internet is decided to play absolute funny buggers. I don't know if it's because of the weather, because it's been working really, really well. And I apologise to Carol if you're watching. The phone in comes through my end, so if I cut off, the phone in cuts off. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to try and sort it and try and get it back up. The phone in is back up and running. If you want to get your calls in, you can. So I apologise. Where were you?
We're just catching up. So we discussed the probably Čolak's going to play. He's going to start, but the three behind him, who's that going to be? Because that's a bit of a headache. So we were talking about who's. I'll get your opinion in this one. So who's going to be the three behind Čolak? Who would you pick?
Oh, you're asking me a question?
Aye.
See, there's a part of me that thinks bring in Davis, just for that European experience. But I don't think he will. I think if Ryan Jack's fit, Ryan Jack probably plays. Will he surprise us and go with Kamara?
I think he will.
I don't know. He might. Lawrence plays for me.
So where does he play?
Lawrence plays in the middle. I have brought in.
Right, listen. I'll tell you why you've brought me in. Listen, know enough viewers on this pod. You need to get some of the good-looking ones in. So I've jumped on, help out, bit of chat, bit of eye candy. Hopefully that helps everybody out here.
Tell you what, I want to show you your mirror. Eye candy. I'm round the mirror looking in that mirror like that. That must be wild taking me out. Because that must be work wonders. I'll tell you.
I'm good. How are you?
All good, mate.
All good, man.
We've got a call coming in, so I'm going to try and take it. Hopefully everything works. Hopefully my internet doesn't break down. So hello and welcome to the Rabble. Are you there?
See, heard that I came on, then that's it. I don't know why take me on.
No, I think I'm having severe internet difficulties. So Jamie, I'm going to go jump into the background. You can take over the hosting and I will try and get everything sorted. Keep on calling in. I'm going to try my best to get it sorted.
Martin, let me know. No worries. How are we doing? What have we got to, Mark? Where are we?
We were kind of discussing who plays behind Čolak. I think Čolak's going to play. So we're looking at the midfield area. We're looking at the three behind Čolak and the two holding, because I think that's what it's going to be in it. It's going to be a full 2-3-1, I would think. So who's your three behind it?
I don't know. I've not even thought about it, to be honest. I was just sitting back here, chilling, enjoying my evening, thinking, when the girls go to bed, I'll catch up in the pod. Anyway, I think he likes Kamara in these big games. Now, I don't know if you have discussed that. I think Kamara is trusted in these games, but look, you know and all. For me, I think for always, John Lundstrom is an absolute mainstay now alongside Goldson and Tav. So he's one as well. Yeah. So does he go with Lundstrom, Kamara, and then Lawrence or Tillman? Are you going to drop either of Lawrence or Tillman? I don't think so.
That's what we've just said that.
I might have somebody who can answer that question, and I'm hoping it works now. We should have Curry Muncher.
All right, lads, how you all doing?
How you doing? Good.
I'm good. I thought I'd try and get a phone call in before Mark started downloading another dodgy movie.
Oh, what's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, what mirror is he using when he went to the circus?
I want a shot here.
Right. I'm only joking, JD. Looking forward to tomorrow. I'm feeling confident, which I'm starting to worry about, because when I start feeling confident, that's when usually something goes wrong. So I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be too overconfident. What do you guys think about who hasn't showed up yet that needs to show up for tomorrow night?
What do you mean? Do you mean who needs to start or show up as in up their performance levels?
Up the performance levels. I mean, I think they've all done really well, but who's going to be our main guy that's going to need to really, really show something special?
I think it's
Kent,
innit? It's got to be Kent, Mark.
Got to be Kent, yeah. Got to be Kent. The other one I feel that needs a big performance as well. If Ryan Jack plays, Ryan Kent, I'm saying. If Ryan Jack plays, he needs to get his finger out as far as I'm concerned.
Do you not thought he played well at the weekend?
He did, but even a broken clock's right twice a day, you know what I mean?
Can he use that twice in 2 podcasts?
But the other one was a members one, wasn't it?
No, you need to
honking patter in it. That's terrible patter. The viewership's going down the way, Mark. We chat with that, mate. It's nearly as bad as Martin.
Right, one at a time, folks. One at a time. Come on. Curry, do you go along with Ryan Kent?
I would say that's the one person I had in mind. Brilliant player. He puts in a shift. He runs about. He does everything, but he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, and that's run the ball down the line. We shimmy there. Get by, put a cross in, or even score. I mean, he says it's a couple of shots at goals and that, but he needs to improve, I think.
I think the goal scoring.
Can I just say in the comments, Gavin Pioneer, Martin, I've been in a relationship that's lasted longer than your Wi-Fi signal. I apologise. My Wi-Fi is terrible. JD, sorry, I interrupted you.
it's a goal hang with Ryan Kent in it. That's what we've always spoke about. But these are the games that he played. These are the games he turned up in last year so often that got us to where we got to now. Perhaps not domestically, but in Europe. So if he starts, I think he's a cert to start because he basically rested at the weekend, so he's nothing maybe went too askew with his injury he had. So I think these are the games that he is primed and ready for. This is why he's here in it. Surely, if it's a £7 million player, these are the games. This is a bigger stage now. This is the Champions League qualifier now. This is arguably more important than any of the games, probably up to the quarter stage, semi stage, perhaps last year in Europe. I don't know what you think about that comment, but it's so important. It's a massive game. It's going to be tough, by the way. I think it's going to be really tough.
Has Kent Curry ever really let us down in Europe? I've left him speechless. Can you?
Fucking best thing I've ever done.
That's a hard one. Aye, because he's no scoring.
I think
there's a lot of the games that he's coming in. He maybe have a decent game in that, but when was the last time you can turn around and say Kent had an absolutely outstanding game? When was the last movement? I can't remember.
Dortmund.
The two legs.
Sorry?
The two legs versus Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Leipzig at home, set up Tav's opener that set the tone. I think the big games is when Kent steps up against Celtic and in Europe for me.
I know what Curry's saying though, Graham. Is that is that enough? Of course it's not enough though. We want to see Ryan Kent do that to teams more consistent in the league. There is other players out there who are constantly now compared to Kent because they consistently show up in the league. If Kent starts doing that in the league, I think he's. I mean, by the way, I'm sure he got like 24 goal assists, goal involvements last season. That's massive. It's 24. That's big. That's the numbers we're looking for.
He's always compared Curry to, and he's always compared to Jota, isn't he? If Jota scores one weekend, Kent's the worst player ever, and Jota's the best thing since sliced bread.
No, who's Jota?
Exactly, my point. This is my point. It seems to be, and I'm not talking about the rabble. I'm talking about other forms of media. The conversation always seems to come up about Kent when a certain player for a certain team has a half decent game.
Well, you know what I think about the mainstream media.
I know what you think about the mainstream media. We probably get the rabble shut down, Curry.
Aye, exactly. See, another thing, before I go, let you guys get some more phone calls in. I reckon this is one of your strongest ever transfers that we've had for many, many a year. Even now, do you think our team, I know we're no far in, right? Do you think that this is the strongest team we've got, especially on paper, full squad I'm talking about, than we did for last season or the season before?
Oh, JD's face is screwing up there.
I think so, aye.
Think so? I don't think you can say that. I think this thing on paper doesn't mean anything to me because I don't know how good Ridvan is supposed to be. You hear all this chat and it cost nearly $4 million. Does that mean that he should be good? No. It just means that they've commanded a fee and we've paid it. Never seen the boy kick a ball in my life, so I couldn't tell you whether he's a great player or not.
The only reason I say yes is because when we look at last year, when certain people were out, I think we've got the players that should they perform. We've got the players to come in and help with injuries and suspensions. So I think in that perspective, we've got a stronger squad. But obviously, we've got to perform for it to be.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I think for me, it's more about the potential at the moment. I think it's far too early in the season to say that. I mean, potentially we have got a stronger side. Yeah, I would agree with potentially. Yeah, but we need these players that have come in to hit the ground and start performing. That I think that we've seen wee glimpses from pretty much all of them. That they've got something there. So I think potentially we've got a stronger team than we did have last season or the season before.
I think we have to remember, though, we really have to remember that, we've lost Bassey and Aribo. Bassey, probably one of the most talented youngsters in Europe, gone to Ajax, phenomenal fee, absolutely. But we've also lost Aribo as well. So you've lost, two big players for that team. So like the guys say, Curry, I think we have to wait and see, how these new signings work out. Lawrence has started well. Matondo started okay. Čolak's got 3-3. Tillman has obviously started like a house on fire. But it's the consistency throughout the full season that will tell if this is a strong squad or not.
Martin, can I throw something out there? Right? Nobody's got to like this. Nobody's not. I don't really want this. Like, 2 points. I'm going to play devil's advocate. And this is what I'm doing. I'm not siding with him, right? See the Jota thing. I know we're saying we don't care about them, but you need to care about them. Because if you don't care about them, you're not concentrating on what they can do. And he can harm you, regardless of what MD thinks. He's a great player and will cause us trouble. Or see if we play them. It's how we silence him. So we need to be aware of them. And about the squad, right? Our squad is good and it looks strong. This squad have only won one cup. They've only ever won one competition. A lot of these people have been together for years. They've only won one thing. I think the full squad still have got a bit to go in respect of Tav's the best player in the league, hands down. Mm-hmm. We need to see him lift more trophies. This squad, some of these players need to get into a more of a winning habit on a longer scale, like over the course of a season, seeing cups out to the end, seeing finals out to the end. We just get more. We need to win more before I think these guys can be really thought of as a strong squad and somebody you can lay your hat on that's going to walk out and win you cup after cup. Now, that might never happen, but we've seen these bastards do it for years and we've been grew up. Fucking never seen a league defeat till I was 16 or something. This is what you need to do. This is what we should be as a club. Standards have got to be at that high. These players are great individuals, but as a team and a squad, they've only won one thing.
We've won the league and won the Scottish Cup, so they've won 2.
Aye, sorry, I forgot about the Scottish Cup last year, didn't I?
Curry, a pleasure as always.
No bother, guys. Thank you very much. I knew that was going to be the same with hearing my dulcet tones for 20 minutes.
That's it. As soon as Curry phones, everybody phones. So thank you.
No bother, guys. You look after yourself. Enjoy yourself. I'll see you. I'll probably see you tomorrow.
See you later, Mark.
YouTube. Take care, guys.
Well, of course, we'll be there for the pre-match and post-match as well. Thank you, Curry. My internet is causing absolute havoc, so I'm going to jump into the background, JD.
Fine.
You'll still be able to phone in. I'm hoping that if I come off this, it takes less power away. So, JD, keep your eye on your WhatsApp. Just before I jump off, can I just say a massive thank you to everybody who's currently watching. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, if you want to, you can join as a member. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. we have our members content. And of course, the more members that join, then the more shows that we will put out. And of course, we are sponsored by Zenith Coins. Link is in the description. Please go and check them out. By checking them out, you help to support the podcast as well. So, JD, I shall leave it now in your capable hands.
Yep, okay. Before we move on, Mark, I must say, you're talking about my mirrors, right? Your Wi-Fi is impeccable. Graham, is he sharp on that screen as on your screen as well? He's like HD. It's fucking giving me a bit of a fright. I want to see his face like it was in face-to-face in Seville that time.
900 meg.
Is that what it is?
You don't get me to pay for this world.
You don't mess
Martin's away to put 50 pences in meters.
I know.
So if you want good Wi-Fi, you need to pay. You need to pay for it. Simple as that.
Cost of living, isn't it? The cost of living doesn't affect some of us, Mark, does it?
Well,
anyway, we'll move on. Have you spoken about the defence?
No, yet, no.
So, of course, we'll say Goulton and Tav, they were stalwarts. We're going to go with a 4, of course, aren't we? I can't see him doing a 3, and I think if he does do a 3, it would be Lundstrom that would maybe drop back and play that role that he played in Europe, which I suppose game could happen, but other centre half. Are you going Sands? Is Suter even fit in respect of, I think I heard they got a knock today for something.
I've not heard anything today, no.
And then left back, Barisic has got that position nailed down just now, hasn't he? Graham, what's your thoughts?
I think you've got to go with Borna. Unfortunately for myself, I've not really seen a lot of the games this year due to work and other commitments. But for all accounts on Twitter and that, and I know it's not the best place to get a rating, but Bonner's kind of on a wee bit of form, which hopefully keeps up. So I think he starts. Like we say, Tav and Goldson, they cover the right-hand side. I think it all depends. For me, I would go with Sands. I've never seen Davies at the weekend there, so I've only seen Sands and Suter. And for me, I prefer Sands alongside Goldson. I think he's a lot more calmer, and I think he's got that kind of European style about him more than what Suter has. And like you say, like the back three, I think we might go to it in game, but I don't think we'll start it.
Yeah.
In that case, like you say, up the Lundstrom. So I would go with Tav, Goldson, Sands, and Borna as the back four for me at the beginning.
Mark, do we have have we got a problem here with trying to find that solid left-hand side to our back four, or is it just because we've got such a solid right-hand side with Tav and Goldson ever present that does this kind of unbalance the team, or do we need to try and find someone or a couple of players that are really going to solidify those positions?
I think it's probably the only time we've really had a good balance and been solid was Hollander. And Hollander was in there for me. And because he's a proper left-footed, left-sided centre-half. Now, I seen a bit of Davies at the weekend, obviously watched the game. And for me, he looked really composed. I know that he's obviously we're trying to get him fit and stuff like that, and he's not up to speed as such. But we looked balanced at the weekend. And I thought, I liked that. I liked the fact that, and he's good with the ball at his feet. And for me, he's got a bit of height as well, and he's better in the air than he is Sands. So for me, if he's fit enough to go 70 minutes, 75 minutes, I would play him.
Yeah.
Because I think that balance is there.
Yeah. Call incoming. Now, if I think it is who is, someone told us they were going to phone in tonight, and I think they have, Max, haven't you?
Yep. How you doing, boys?
We're good. How are you, mate? I seen you say you would give us a call, so how are you?
I feel like shite as usual, but apart from that, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow.
You're looking forward to what?
Looking forward to the game tomorrow night.
What's your thoughts, Max?
Going to be a hard one.
It is.
Aye, definitely. Aye.
Good team.
What about your team, Max?
We wanted anyway, didn't they?
Aye, two of them.
Any surprise in the team that you would pick, Max, or any players you think you would want in the starting 11?
I fancy me Tillman. Tillman was his freaking face at these. Rip Van.
Right, okay. Yeah.
You don't think
Barris is a good start?
He's up and down. That's the only problem as well.
He's temperamental, isn't he?
Oh.
He's definitely temperamental, isn't he?
Yeah, he's up and down.
Any other points, Max?
Yeah, you're not going. You're not any eye candy, mate. That's for certain.
Yes.
Thanks for that.
It helped me. I've got a face for radio.
So's JD.
Is that all then, Max? You know any other points to make? What do you think the score will be, mate? What do you think the score will be?
I think it's going to be a hard one. I think it'll be 2-1 to us.
Take that.
Take it over there.
I'll take it, Max.
What about your,
I wish I was going to Eindhoven next week. Last time I was there, it was in 99.
Yeah.
And it was great. Beautiful city.
Brilliant. Okay, Max, no other points, we'll let you go. No other points, mate?
Nah. You ever let anybody else talk? Is it always you, JD? You're always yap. You never let anybody else talk.
Listen, that's the thing, though, man. See when you like the sound of your own voice, bud. That's a problem.
Oh, no.
Right.
Anyway,
good man, Max.
Go.
All the best, Max.
Night, boys.
See you later on.
Right, see you later, boys.
Brilliant. Max,
do you pay him to phone in? Do you know Max?
Graham, do you know Max?
No.
I think Martin knows Max. Anyway, where were we? We're defence.
The left side, Davies and that.
I saw it. For me, I think it's balance. For me, I just think it's square pegs and round holes. See that? It's just all right. He can do a job in there, but that's not his trade. He's not a centre half. His trade. So Davies for me.
So are you starting him tomorrow?
Is
he ready to go?
Got to be ready to start now. Surely he's had a few games, but it started at the weekend. So if he can start at the weekend, why can I not start tomorrow night?
He didn't get 90 minutes, though, did he?
Well, but exactly, if he's good for 75.
But then potentially the build-up would maybe be the next game that he plays in maybe 30 minutes, and then it gives him the 90 minutes, but then you build up from there. But I think once he gets up and going, I think he will be the one that Van Bronckhorst goes with. It's a partnership to get that formed. But for me, Sands, I think, has got to start because they've kind of got a wee bit of chemistry together through the games they've played, and we need that going into this game.
I think Sands has got a bit of howler in him.
I think Sands is better at reading the game, which is than. Well, I've not really seen Davies a lot, but he's good at reading the game, and interceptions I think will be quite good because their front kind of 3-4 will be quite interchanging, so you need to keep basically concentration to keep up with that.
Brilliant. I'm totally thrown, honestly. Brilliant. So you go with Davies. What about the left back again? Mark, Redvan doesn't come in, does he?
No, I think I spoke about it. I spoke about it in the members thing that I think that he's played himself into a wee bit of form. So Barisic needs to start. Simple as that.
Oh. Have we got another caller on the line? No, we've just lost someone. Damn, that's hard lines. Okay. PSV, Graham, I don't know if you've touched on the opposition. Have you touched on them? Graham, you want to give us a wee rundown? I know you watch a wee bit. I know you're a big Ajax man, but I know you watch a wee bit of the football. Any tips you want to give us on them?
I watched the Johan Cruyff Shield match when PSV hammered Ajax, and also Calvin Bassey got a sending off as well in that game. Yeah. But they do look a lot good. I think they went through a spell where they were quite an old school team, like balls into the box, and there wasn't too much. It was like back and forth, quite quick. Where now I think Van Nistelrooy's starting to kind of move them into the kind of modern style of football. And they've got players like Joey Veerman, Gakpo, and Gus Till, and then they've got the big boy up front still, so they've got that option as well. But I think they do look better than what they have over the last 3-4 years. So it will be tough, but I'm confident we can get a 1-0 win of some sort, or 1 goal difference.
Mark, what's your thoughts overall? I'm not. I know Curry was saying that he's feeling optimistic, which is I'm not. I don't not feeling optimistic. We've beat bigger teams. Look, last season we just need to point to that, but I don't know. I feel it's a different level, I think, than last season. I know we played Dortmund and Leipzig, but PSV they've acquired some good players and they've got a bit of a squad behind them.
I think it'll be tight. I think that they've got goals in them, definitely. I think the boy Simmons scored at the weekend for them as well. So him and Veerman's a player. I mean, we've all watched everything we could possibly see of Veerman because we thought we were signing him. So we know how good he is, and he's different class with passing, but he scores goals as well. And he's scored a few for them. So they've got goals for midfield. And the big boy up front, he's devastating in the air as well. So if they get balls in the box as well, hence the reason why Sands, for me, Sands isn't good in the air. So if you're playing a boy that's pretty deadly in the air, then. But as I said, I think it'll be tight. Maybe 2-1 Rangers.
Can I just say, I've went out and bought a Wi-Fi booster, right? I have. Fuck Dog's right. JD, you need to get on that positive.
No, listen. I'm going to say Max threw me there. Max threw me. I was in a good stride there. Max threw me. He did, Max. You threw me, mate. So fair. Maybe that was Max's tactic to come on and throw me. Maybe you set that up, Martin.
Oh well, he did say on Twitter that I didn't have a clue what I was talking about, and he was going to come on and basically embarrass me. So maybe he was.
He only embarrassed one person. That's for sure.
Okay, there you go. If you want to phone in, of course, it's 01416287237. What I will say to people who do phone in, because I don't have a producer or anything like that, because we're not in that position yet, when you phone in and you get brought in, you're in the background so you can hear the call. There's a few people that have phoned in and then they come into the background and then they just hang up because they must be chatting and then obviously not hearing anything. So if you do phone in and you hear us talking, you will be brought in. That shoot on the call. But JD, who's favourites tomorrow?
I think after last season and the way we played at home, I would make us slight favourites. As I've said this a million times on here, I expect us to win. I expect us to win tomorrow. As always expect us to win. But it's Mark saying it's tight. This probably could be the tightest. Maybe it's only because when we played Leipzig and we played Dortmund last year, we probably didn't expect it. So you weren't expecting the win. Whereas now we've built up that wee bit of expectation or hope in ourselves that we're now thinking, are we favourites for a Champions League qualifier here against PSV? If you go back to it, Max, if you go back to 99 with Max, listen, you're expecting to beat PSV. But where we've came from recently and where we're trying to get to, perhaps PSV have got a wee bit of a step ahead of us. They definitely, the players they've brought in, I doubt we would have been able to afford. So they've probably got a wee bit of the march on us there, maybe in that respect. But I still think at home, after last season, we've got to be the favourites. Mark, what do you think?
I don't know about that. I would say, for me, genuine 50-50. I think we're both finely matched. I think they're a right good side, and obviously they've spent a few quid, but we're a right good side. Like you said, we've done well, we've done great in Europe, and we've progressed, and we've gradually get better year after year after year, I think, in Europe. So, to be sitting the fence, kind of, I think we're favourites at home, and I think they're favourites over there.
Well, I think, personally, right, and I'm going to give an opinion here, folks.
Wow.
Strap yourselves in. Last year in Europe, we were absolutely phenomenal, right? And I think we've shown a lot of clubs that, coming to Ibrox, it's near impossible for teams, right? I think what's sticking in, and JD, please tell me if I'm wrong, what's sticking in a few Rangers fans' minds and why they're maybe not so as upbeat for this is that first leg against USG. I think that set a lot of people back because of how poor a team they actually were. But I think we showed in that second leg that, we are still a top European team. As Gallant says in the comments, we're 20 places above PSV. Graham, I think we should be getting in here as favourites.
I agree with JD. I'm expecting to win. I think it will be close, but I'm expecting to win. And like I've said tonight so far, I think it'll be like a 1 goal difference win to go over there. And I think that suits us perfectly because they'll need to come out and then we can do our business in the counter-attack and stuff. So that's what I'm wanting, and that's what I can expect. And like we say, Ibrox and European nights, and then they're going to get this blue sea of Ibrox, everyone wearing blue. So I think it'll look amazing, and also it'll sound amazing. And then we just go attack, same way we did against Leipzig. We always seem to start well, and if we get that start, then Ibrox will just take off, I think.
That is the club have asked, haven't they? Everybody to wear blue. They want a blue sea Ibrox.
I've seen that, yeah. They've asked everybody to wear the blue, so that's fair enough. Look, they want the blue sea Ibrox, they'll probably get it. I don't think the Union Bears will divert from wearing their black, but I think that's fair enough. There's a different little section that creates its own atmosphere that can get the full stadium going. But if everyone else they want them to wear the blue, I think that's a good shout. Looking at actually to be official, Rangers are slight favourites. If you look at a bookie on a coupon, we're the slight favourites, 64, and PSV are 85. So Rangers are just marginally the favourite, which probably right. It's across the board. That's an MD's result.
Actually,
yeah, Martin, I wanted to say that. Good shout. I see it.
Yes, Mel. And by the way, thank you so much, Mel, as well. My internet was cutting in and out. Can I say Mel, Mum? For the $8.99 super chat as well. Obviously, you'll be wanting that back once the podcast is finished. You know what I mean? That'll be the text message I get. That £9 back. But no, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, as many of you know, and I don't often advertise it, and I need to do it. You can download the pod, of course, Acast, iTunes, Spotify, etc. But we teamed up with Sports Social, and I think we were the first Scottish football podcast to do so. Most definitely the first Rangers podcast to do so. Sports Social, obviously, trying to integrate all kinds of different sports content. You can check out their website as well. And we won Podcast of the Week on the Sports Social. It just so happened, JD, that it was a podcast that you were hosting.
Of course. Over 1,000 people viewed it in the moment. We were sitting there live, could not believe it went to 4 figures, Martin. You were there. It was mad. We've never seen that happen before. And then over 10,000 people have listened to it and watched it there since. On YouTube alone, over 10,000. So that's not adding in the folk who've done it on like through sports social and stuff like that. So that was mad. It was a mad show. We ended up doing an off-the-cuff some phone calls as well because we didn't want it to end because we seen there was like 1,010 people at one point watching the podcast. I couldn't believe that many people are watching it at once. So it's gave me the big heat. That's why I'm jumping on here now, Billy, big time, telling how good looking I am and stuff like that. It's mad.
I don't know what's happened in the last kind of 4 weeks, JD. 4 weeks that the rabble again on YouTube's just exploded.
But we're all sitting in the group chat, Mark and Graham will know, and just everybody's just not in a bit of awe and a bit of shock about how well the podcast's doing, Martin. And it's credit to you, mate, because you've built this. You've obviously you're a good talent spot and all. Do you know what I mean? So you've done well with that kind of thing. Because if you go way back to the ones he's done it right at the start, man, it was fucking shocking.
Some of them were terrible, man. I was absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. And I had better hair back then as well. Absolutely. And by the way, see the memberships keep growing. It will no longer be the Rangers Rabble podcast. No, it will be changing to Rangers Rabble TV. Which, honest to God, I'm so buzzing about. I'm absolutely so buzzing about. Right, Mark, tomorrow. How did we start? How does Gio start? What do we do? Do we go? Do we sit back? Do we look to counter, or do we go for it?
I think we need to go for it. I think attack's the best form of defence. For me, you need to go for it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to go silly. I don't want to go. But for me, I would play Kamara in the middle, shows that we have that wee bit of cover. But definitely, you need to go for it. With the crowd behind us at Ibrox, you need to go for it. I think that if we get our tails up, then we're laughing. As I say, that crowd, and we've seen bigger teams in PSV shit the bed. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think we need to go for
it. Jim Sloan again on the members podcast as well. Jim, that's honestly phenomenal support. Another super chat and a super sticker as they call them. There's that many different things they call them. Honestly, I'm lost for words. Mark Doyle as well. Wear blue and obviously, that's Mark's opinion. Mark's opinion only. But thank you for the super chat. That's a Matrix reference. Obviously, that's nothing else. Yeah, Graham, do you go along with that? I mean, it's going to be a tough one because it's so early in the season, and obviously PSV have got Van Nistelrooy in. They're looking to change things, so we're not 100% sure of what PSV bring. So I suppose Gio's got to take that into account as well. But do we look to take control, keep possession?
I think we just need to look back at the last season and then the game last week against USG. If we start that way, that's our game. We just play to our game and then we adjust if we need to, like we did in Borussia Dortmund, when back to our back three, we'll just drop them in. That's what I like about Van Bronckhorst. He adjusts in game and it helps. But we just got to stick to our game plan. Get Tab bombing down the right, Borna whipping crosses in, people running off, Čolak, Thielman doing his thing. And I think I'm very positive for tomorrow night. I think we'll definitely win.
Well, we do, and I'm going to try. We have another caller ending 897. Hello, welcome to the Rabble.
Yeah, good evening. Long time listener, first time caller, as they usually say. Yeah, just phoning up. I mean, the one thing I like about the Rabble is your positivity. You're always positive. Even if we're playing shite, you're positive. But regarding tomorrow night, I'm relatively confident. I think we'll get a result, and then it depends how we play back there, depending upon the crowd being the 12th man. Let's not forget, PSV have got a sort of vociferous hill, so we need to be on our game for the first minute tomorrow. But what I'm really phoning about, I'm an old man. I'm a septuagenarian, I think they call me.
I recognise your voice.
You might recognise me as a Mr. Terry Monroe that phoned Clyde's Super Scoreboard one time.
Were you also on Rangers Radio?
I was one of the original ones in Rangers Chat, yes.
Do you remember on Rangers Radio a young guy came on and he started just randomly coming on for the very beginning called Martin?
Probably. I've got a bad memory. I smoked too much weed, mate. My memory's fucked.
Well, if I remember right, and obviously I won't say your name, but I think it starts with an I. I was that man.
Ian. Oh, no, it's Ian. Yeah. No,
Yes.
everybody knew me as Ian. I was the one. I don't hide behind any fucking curtains. You want to peek behind the curtain, you're going to find me.
Well, Ian, you were the one who started me on my journey in Rangers media.
Well, that's brilliant. That's really good to hear. I mean, I get a lot of criticism, and there was a wee bit of editorial control that I fell out with, and that's why I walked away from the thingy. As far as I was concerned, football, as Graham Souness said, is a man's game. Any time you went to the football, you had sort of free rein to say what you want, when you wanted, where you wanted to. That's all changed now, but. Well, before I forget, because my memory is, I'll chat with you later, but what I was going to say was, Čolak, I'm so impressed with Čolak because I'm going back to my youth. When I started watching football, Jimmy Miller was the centre forward. Now, Jimmy Miller was all action, throw his body here, there and everywhere in the 6-yard box. I'm going back to when Route 1 football, kick into that 6-yard box, and our hardest man will fight like fuck to get that ball in the back of the net. Then we had, after him, with Prasot, Mark Haley was much the same. John Claude Datsville, I thought he was brilliant. Daniel Kuzan, brilliant. I like Waghorn. I like Joe Gardner. And now I've got Čolak coming. Now, I mean, I love Alfie Morelos. I love people like that. But I'm used to guys getting in there and putting their heat in where it hot. Andy Gray style. And it's, for me, the people that are criticising Čolak at the moment, give him a bit of service and see what he can do.
I have to 100% agree, JD. And it's not just because it's my old mentor. Čolak, for me, I think JD will be our top scorer this season.
Bold.
I would have to agree with you there. I think that's the start. I think he'll be the top scorer in the league. Never mind for us.
Aye.
Listen, he needs to get a game. Listen, Morelos back full fit. Čolak does not start.
I don't even think he has to start to be the top scorer this season. I think Čolak's the type of guy who will come on, and if you give him that ball in the box, he will put it in the back of the net. I genuinely think he's that good.
I was going to agree with you there because look what he did with Jermaine Defoe for the past couple of seasons. Anytime because sometimes Alfie, the game doesn't suit Alfie, and we've got to accept that, and you've got to bring another man on. We've done it with Roof. Roof was coming on and scored when Alfie couldn't score. I think Čolak's a better proposition.
I also think, and I'll take that to you, Mark, I think we're getting a player in Čolak who's in his prime. We're not getting like as a Jermaine Defoe who's coming towards the end of his career. We're getting a not young, 28-year-old Croatian in the peak his career.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the both of these. I'm not sure if he'll be the top goal scorer, but I like the fact that for me, although he's not creating or getting a lot of chances to create it for him, I think that if he gets a sniff, he's putting it away. And for me, that's massive. If any striker, you look at all the top strikers in the world, they get a chance, boom, it's away. Any of them, chance, boom, it's a goal. So for me, and even the weekend there, he never really got a chance. He made that himself. And he spun and put it away as well. So for me, that's massive. To say, as long as you can put it away. So and he looks as if he comes alive in that 6-yard box. So yeah, man, I'm pleased with him. So I said I get dogs abuse the last time Ian phoned, and he's come back on and said the complete opposite of what he said. He gave me dogs abuse for.
It was Carol that gave you dogs abuse.
Oh, Carol, sorry, so it was I. Sorry, I apologise.
I take it, Ian, he starts tomorrow for you.
Oh, without a doubt. I think, well, I don't know, right? Let me just reconsider this because, tomorrow, yes. Tomorrow he starts and we bring Alfie on if required. Over there, Alfie starts in case it goes to extra time. I don't think Alfie with the extra minutes to get to the extra 30 minutes with Čolak would. Am I making a wee bit of sense here, or am I just talking? Am I just havering?
I agree with that, Graham. I do.
I agree with that as well. I think Alfie suits kind of the away games. So I definitely agree with that. I think Alfie will have an impact tomorrow night as well, to be honest. But I'll definitely start Čolak and then the opposite next week.
We get such a lift.
Yeah, well, that's because it's going to take a wee bit more in the next couple of games to get Alfie match fit after 5 months. He's carrying a wee bit of timber, which he is prone to do, and I'm not criticising him because his body strength, he needs that wee bit extra about him. Alfie Morelos makes goals where there should be a goal, whereas your man there, he's going to be one of these that people are going to complain, all he does is score goals. Well, you know what? Give me half a dozen of them, please. If all he does is score goals. And I don't care if he hangs about that 6-yard box for 90 minutes. If he can score goals, let him do it. If
we had somebody who could just score goals, you know, what were we lacking last year in the European final?
Yeah.
Somebody who could score.
What were we lacking in the Scottish League to allow the clubs to win it?
Well, yeah. That's true as well. Ian, thank you so much, and it's a pleasure speaking to you after all these years.
Not a problem, my friend, and I'll certainly try and I'll try and watch when your phone-ins are in, because normally I'm catching them up at the back end. But you know, I've caught it tonight, or you're going to be live. I'll try and. Pleasure speaking to you. It's a pleasure to listen to you all the time.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope to speak to you again in the not too distant future.
Thank you very much, Ian. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Speak to you later, my friend. Cheers.
Well, there you go. A blast from the past. Yeah, that's JD was talking about how he was taken aback earlier. That's took me aback, JD. Now, is your internet playing up?
Well, listen, I don't know if you can see. I can see myself fine, but when you speak, Martin, you're like 5 seconds, but your voice and your movements are 5 seconds behind. So I think my internet's playing up, which has never happened before. But I suppose you're up to something. You're trying to get me off. You're up to something.
I genuinely think it's the weather. I honestly think the weather's causing havoc.
Look at Big Mark tap. Look at him tap left HD. He's 4K HD.
Boom.
That's just all that money. He's minted, man. He's getting more money than the Queen, Mark.
So for quoting the niggers.
Right, so we've spoke about the build-up. We've spoke about PSV. It's impossible to pick a team because we never know what Gio's going to play. So we'll have a wee discussion about Saturday. But before we do that, I know Graham was at the B team game. Before we come to that, and listen, I know we've been going an hour and 17 minutes, folks. But if you still want to phone up, we'll maybe go another 15, if that's all right with you guys. Phone up 0141 628 7237. Maybe have time for 2 more calls. Prediction and first goal scorer, Mark, for tomorrow night.
2-1 Rangers. Tillman.
2-1 Rangers. Tillman. Graham.
2-1 Rangers. Tavernier.
JD.
2-1 Rangers. Čolak.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, that would have been my prediction. My prediction is 2-0 Rangers, Čolak. I never give it. That's 2 opinions I've given tonight again. I need to stay half a day out and just very, very quickly. Gallant Pioneer. Right, wait to hear this. Should do a rabble all day or 24-hour phone-in. Oh, jeez, could you imagine?
There's not enough beer in the shop for that one, is there?
Oh. Martin, what was it though? We spoke about doing something once where we would do something really long, but we would all take like turns. You would do 40 minutes each or an hour and a half each. And what was that? Was that a New Year special or was it watching a game live or something?
I think I had a couple of bottles of Mad Dog in me when I suggested that. I can't remember. But we've got another phone call. Davey for Canvas Lang. Davey, how you doing?
Not bad, Martin. How are you?
Not bad, buddy. Not bad, buddy.
I was only want to say the caller that was having a go at one of your man Duff. I think it was quite right.
Yes, brilliant.
He just loves his own voice, doesn't he? He never shuts up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's the only one that puts voice notes in the WhatsApp.
Definitely. Definitely. Seen that came on here, there was 104. Look, there's 217 now.
I'm always wrong. So I think tomorrow the score will be Rangers 4, PSV 2.
What makes you so confident of that scoreline, Davey?
Because we have got Čolak, who should have had 4 out of 4, but he's got 3. We turn Nona Lawrence, Tillman, Matondo, and Kent. Jack Lundstrom should sort of take care of their midfield. So I think definitely. 4-2.
I mean, when David puts it like that, Mark, Jack and Lundstrom, will they play Jack and Lundstrom in that midfield?
I don't know.
Is that too defensive?
Nah, possibly, but that's why I'm saying I've said Kamara. But for me, just going back to what Davey said there is, I think we've addressed the fact we never scored a lot of goals from midfield last season. I said it the other night. And I think with the players that we've brought in players that can score goals from midfield. So I think the likes of Tillman and Lawrence, for just to pick 2, they've got that in a locker. So I think that we've got the potential, once everybody's firing on all cylinders, to put teams properly to the sword this season and score a lot of goals.
That's actually a fair point, JD. The goals from midfield. Tillman, do you know what? We never really touched on Tillman much, I don't think, unless my memory's gone. But having Tillman, if Tillman and Lawrence play, then you're not just relying on the striker because they both can score goals.
Yeah, it's something we've cried out for. I mean, even when Aribo was there, he didn't score as many goals as you probably expected, or certainly last season. So we've been crying out for goals to come. Tillman's shown that he can do it already. Lawrence has as well. You've seen Lawrence in pre-season and in the games with the game he scored. Who is it? Anyway, he can arrive in the right position, one-touch finish. So I think you'll see both Lawrence and Tillman get double figures this season, no bother. And that's something we're screaming out for. I think, listen, 4-2 is a great shout for the result because it's one of those European nights, 2 teams going at it. And we're at home, gives us the advantage. So you could easily see a 4-2 happening. You know what? With the away goals rule no counting anymore, 4-2 would be an absolutely outstanding result for us.
A good game to watch as well.
It wouldn't be good for my heart rate. David, does the defence worry you at all? There's obviously been talk of the Sands play there. As Davies fully fit, does that worry you at all?
Yeah, it probably does, but I think you've probably got to play Sands because he's the one that's been playing.
Would you feel confident enough, David, with Sands? Would you feel confident?
Aye. No, I don't think he's been done a like. No, I'm sorry, mate. No, you're not getting started.
No problem.
I don't think he's a lot wrong, and I think he's getting better.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's either him or Davies in it, but he hasn't had any sort of game time apart from maybe half an hour or so. You know. So I would play Sands. So I would play Sands.
Do you know, weirdly, Graham, I'll take this to you. Weirdly, I think the one thing that Sands has been poor with in defence has been his distribution, has been his passing. I think that's been the one thing that, he's nearly put us in a spot of bother a couple of times. And coming from a midfielder, that's strange.
The last time I seen him was the Dundee United, the Livingston game, and his distribution was brilliant in that game. And then the couple of games I've missed due to work, I've heard he's puts in a wee bit of bother. But I think he's got to play for me because he's up to speed. He's got a relationship with Goldson better than Davies has at the moment. And I think he's good at reading the game, which that's why I think I would go Jack alongside Lundstrom as well, because they're better at spotting danger than Kamara, and obviously Davies has played a lot. So that's what I think I'll go with Sands. Plus, when his distribution is on top, it is very good. Then he can play that ping out to the right and the left. In Goldston's got that as well, so it gives us the double barrel as well.
Final question, Davey. Is 4-2 for you? Would that be enough? Would that leave you feeling comfortable enough going over to Eindhoven?
Not a problem, because we'll definitely score over. So we will, definitely.
I love the confidence.
We've got the firepower, none of the midfield, Čolak up front, or none of Alfie. No, we will definitely score over. I'm 100%
I love the confidence.
on that one.
I love the confidence. Davey, my friend, thank you very much. And
Right, man, thank you. And all the rest of you apart from Duffy.
All the best.
Thank you very much, David.
See you later, David.
I tell you, Mark, again, another super chat. Duff, get the panel your plugs for Xmas. There we go. I tell you what, Jamie's getting it tight tonight, isn't he?
Listen, see, listen, I can take that in the chin. Take that in the chin. Listen, no bother for me. That just rolls right off my back. No bother. I'll get it. Don't worry. It's you that get it off me, the callers, and if people watching don't get it, you get it. So you just take it double barrel off me now.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Graham, you were at the latest B team game, which unfortunately, after being 3-0 up, and just very quickly touch on this because we're going to have, and I'm hoping to get you on that, Graham, as well, with Academy review with William Irwin. 3-0 up at half time to only to be clawed back to 3-3.
I put out a tweet after the game saying it was a game of two halves. The first half it looked too easy for Rangers and some of the players. Alex Lowry in the first half just kind of strolled through it. His assist for Robbie Fraser's goal was out of this world. The control and then the side foot volley pass was unbelievable. I said first half we camped in their half, created numerous chances, and then I think the biggest difference in the second half was Robbie Ewer. He went off, I think, with an injury, and we just couldn't get the ball up and hold it in their half, and then they started to come on, and it was just the attitude was a wee bit disappointing to see most of the players, and they as soon as they got the first one, I knew they were going to get another one, and they basically got the other two, and then a free each. Kind of, like I said, game of two halves, so it was a fair result going on that.
I should say it was obviously Caledonian Braves who play in Motherwell. Yeah, so more on that. Hopefully with Billy Irwin and Graham soon with another wee Academy review. JD asked the guys when we first started. Apparently I've missed a super chat, Jim. I will get on that in a wee second. I'll put this point to JD and then I will look at it. Does the performance on Saturday, the poor performance and result, help us get into this game?
100%. I thought you were going to say something else there. Oh, well, of course it does. I think we probably said this last week, Mark. I'm sure it was me and you. We said we would like to maybe have squeezed another game. And I know you can't, obviously the game's Tuesday, but we'd have liked maybe the game to be a week away, like the second leg being the first leg, to get another game under our belt, because you can just see the progression. Take out the USG game being the kind of standalone, whatever. But other than that, you can see the progression. And everybody's just starting to find their feet. And like we've said, I mean, look at the players, Tillman, Lawrence, hopefully Matondo. These boys start to find their feet in a month. We could be right up there. And this game, came too early for us? A lot of changes, maybe, but PSV are probably, Graham will keep me right. PSV are behind. They're behind in their prep. We're ahead of them in our prep, so perhaps not. But that game, of course, the win, the result, everything, some of the goals, it's the passing as well, the passage of plays, the 10, 12 passes in a row, setting up chances. That's massive for the confidence as well for everybody.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. I missed this, Davey. Thank you very much. Another £10 super. Bear with me. Tillman reminds me of Ruud Hullet, is that? When he was younger, Rabble smashing it. Did you see a wee bit of Ruud Hullet in him, Mark? I mean, Ruud Hullet, phenomenal player. I would kill for Ruud Hullet at Rangers.
I think the boys are talent. I mean, I don't think we need to put that kind of tag on his shoulders and stuff. But yeah, he's definitely got that kind of talent there. I think that the boy has got pretty much everything. I mean, he's good in the air, he's strong, he can hold players off. He's got that wee bit of invention that a lot of players lack. See that final third, that kind of wee touch from a corner or a wee defence splitting pass. He's got that, and these are the things that you can't teach. See that the wee trick and the wee back heel here and there and stuff like that. So it looks a right good player, and we've spoken about it as well. The pedigree coming from Bayern Munich, you're expecting something pretty good. Do you know what I mean? Even at 20-year-old, it looks as if this boy can go on for the next 10 years and be a top player in Europe.
Can I just say we are 215 subscribers away from 6,000. I apologise as well. There's been a bit of feedback tonight. There's nothing I can do about it. I think it's my end with my computer. But yeah, 215 subscribers away from 6,000, which in under 2 years is absolutely mental. So if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do. Please give the podcast a like, which helps share it through the mediums that is YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, give us a wee like and a retweet and a follow on Twitter as well. And if you can, it's a hard time for everybody financially, but if you can help support the pod by becoming a member, then please do hit that join button, or the link is in the description. We've got member content every Sunday at 8 p.m. Now, Graham, JD, what are you laughing at?
Chat. I need to stop watching the chat whilst we're on, because it just totally throws me sometimes.
JD is literally Fabian Barty.
That's what I was laughing at.
Can he buy it?
Mark, that man sitting up there laughing at me. He's worse. You know what I mean?
No chance. Not a chance, man. Not a chance.
See, when I'm talking to the people who are watching and thanking them, my eyes aren't really on the comments, but that is probably the best comment I have ever seen in my life. See if anybody can do better than that. JD he's his absolute spitting image, isn't he?
Oh.
Gallant Pioneer, he's a talking the rude gullet, right? And Gallant Pioneer saying JD's due the rude gullet.
We're going to take our final call of the night, and it is from channel member Ian Ross. Ian, how are you?
I'm good, Martin, thanks.
Are you here to slag JD as well?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Ian.
I felt safe in that scene.
JD's a bit of an attention seeker.
He's getting murdered.
Big grin, you know. Everybody loves me, everybody hates Martin. That's the type of guy he is, you know.
I'm a realist, Ian. A realist.
I don't understand the attitude, you know. Can't understand that attitude.
It's because he's on the.
That's the attitude that gets you banned.
No, it's because he's the highest paid. Ian, I think that's what it is.
He's the highest paid as well, you know. It's not just the way he holds himself and everything, you know. The sly smiles all the time when he checks the chat out to see if everybody's loving him, you know.
Nobody's loving me. You know, nobody's loving me, so it's not that. But I'll take that. Aye, I'm the Cristiano Ronaldo of the podcast. I'll take that. Aye.
Mate, man.
Oh, Matt, we've lost Matt. Oh, Ian, you're left with me now.
Away, no? You're away as well.
I never done that, by the way. Horns up. I was buzzing when Ian came on there. And, aye, let me just sort Martin out here. I was buzzing when Ian came on there. I thought Ian was.
You're getting it tight tonight, Jamie, aren't you?
One of my favourites to come on and give a horn. Fucking hell, that was a bit cutting, by the way. That was he was one personal there a wee bit, by the way. Honestly.
He was only kidding, JD. They're only mocking you because they love you. That's all.
I can take it, Mark. You know that, don't you?
Aye.
Where are we going with that? We don't know what Ian's point was because we've lost him. Graham, what's your final thoughts on the game tomorrow?
I'm really excited for it, mate, to be honest. I put in the group chat earlier that it's still, these big games, I'm still kind of get that kind of feeling as I did as a kid, because I thought for a while there we were going to get these nights back. And so I am really looking forward to it, and it brings back memories of being at Ibrox in the 4-1 game. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm confident we'll get the win.
Mark, are you confident we'll get the win?
I'm confident we'll get the win. I don't think it'll be easy by any stretch of imagination, and I think the crowd are going to have a massive part to play in it. So everybody get behind them. But yeah, I'm looking. I can't wait. For me, I think I threatened somebody's granny or something like that. The last one talking about the Champions League music at Ibrox, and I'll still stick by that comment. I would kill somebody's granny to get that Champions League music back at Ibrox. I'm not really caring. I will.
Yeah, I think we'd all agree that. See that to get that. I mean, it would be so tough to get into the group stage of the Champions League. You're at another level. But we just long for that. You know, I think we all feel a bit done in or a wee bit hurt that we've done all the work in the last 3 or 4 years to get the coefficient to a place where Scotland get an automatic place in the Champions League. That's our work that done that. It just feels a bit wrong that this is what I'm still up by the whole point that we didn't win the league last year, because we deserved that point in that spot, Graham, didn't we?
I try not to think about it as much, but we threw away that league. Also, the Europa League, get to the final, that kind of had a lot of things in the league, and also we enjoyed that, and I wouldn't take that back because what an experience it was going over to Seville and stuff that we all use. But if you be honest, we gave that league away, and we should be in automatic as champions in that group stage this year.
Aye, definitely. The chat's mad, isn't it? The comments going. Listen, just before we go, then we'll just want to touch on Saturday. I know I think Martin was wanting to touch on it a tiny little bit. Now we will have the Rabble Extra out on Wednesday. And we'll also get the pre-match and the match reaction tomorrow. We'll have the Rabble X on Wednesday. We'll do another kind of wee debrief. I think Elaine's hosting that one on Wednesday. The phone-in will be back on Friday, but when are we back in league action, Graham? It's Saturday, isn't it?
Saturday, 12:30 away to Hibs.
Oh, that's a cracker. Mark,
that's what they'll turn into a Premiership team.
So, Mark, again, just to touch on that, we can't look at the form table when we go to a place like Easter Road, can we?
I don't think you can look at the form table when we go anywhere. It's a cup final for everybody we play. Everybody wants to beat the Rangers. Simple as that. It's nothing new. It's nothing new, but that's how it is. So we just need to cast them aside like we usually do.
Graham, what's your thoughts?
It'll be a tough game because we know what Hibs are going to do. They'll up their game, but their players are in good form. Hopefully tomorrow night that breeds more confidence when we go into that game and just get the 3 points up the road.
Yeah, I don't want to drag that one out too much because we've got tomorrow to concentrate on, I think, and I think we'll be back on the screens a good few times to talk about Hibs in the run up after tomorrow night. So I think we'll end it there. It's been a night of Wi-Fi letdowns a wee bit in it. Mine's is all over the place. I think Martin's just totally gone, and Mark's has been impeccable, Graham. It has. You'll need to do something about that, Mark, because you're 4K HD.
I'll need to invite you all around. We'll just all sit in different rooms.
Aye.
That one in Spain or that one?
I know what one.
Either or. I've sorted that Wi-Fi out there as well. So
he's in a big townhouse or something, isn't he? He's up on the 4th floor.
It's a West Wing.
Right, we will leave it there. It's also been a bit of a character building night, so I'm going to go and sit in a dark room. Thanks for that.
Have a love of yourself.
This is supposed to be a good for your well-being. It's not been for mine tonight. So anyway, we love you all. Thanks for joining in, as Martin says. Really, really appreciate it, folks. And we'll see you all as the week goes on.